Courage isn't just a matter of not being frightened, you know. It's being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway. The Third Doctor. BBC Audiobooks presents Doctor Who The Well by Gareth L Powell, based on the television adventure by Sharma Angel Walfall and Russell T Davies. Read by Caoilfhionn Dunne. Prologue. Waiting for the humans. The presence had been all alone for 400,000 years, haunting the caverns and rock fissures deep beneath the blasted surface of its ruined world. Once upon a time, millennia ago, other creatures came from beyond the sky in ships made of metal and plastic and fire. They called themselves humans. And while they were able to wield great technological power, they were also fleshy and vulnerable and unable to survive on the surface without their machines. At first, the presence stalked the periphery of their settlement. It watched the comings and goings of their little vehicles with caterpillar tracks and covered windows. When it felt ready, it found a way inside. The humans were unprepared, of course. Before they even suspected what might be happening, the presence clawed its way into their soft and pliable minds and began to feast upon their fear, devour their anger, and bask in the nourishing purity of their hatred. In their bright, vibrant memories, it caught tantalizing glimpses of other worlds beyond this desolate wasteland. 1,000,000 worlds, each filled with billions of other such creatures. 1,000,000,000,000 opportunities to grow and learn and play. And feed. In that moment, it hatched a plan to escape this radioactive hellhole of a planet and spread itself across the stars in an endless frenzy of conquest and predation. It would have been glorious, but it had been stopped. Prevented by the very creatures it had sought to subjugate, cast back into exile and solitude. Now it paced restlessly in its subterranean confinement, as it had done for the past 400,000 years, slithering through seams in the rock, crawling through cracks and fissures as it seethed with rage and resentment, waiting for another chance to escape and wreak a terrible vengeance on those who had so unfairly imprisoned it. Waiting for the arrival of more weak, unwitting humans. Waiting for another chance to feast. But most of all, waiting for the creature known only as the Doctor. Chapter 1. Swatted by a giant moth. Why did time travel have to be so complicated? There were so many brightly coloured knobs, switches, levers and dials on the main TARDIS console that sometimes the Doctor wished he had more than one pair of hands. That's what friends are for, he thought. As the blue box careened through the fiery time vortex, he helped Belinda wrap her fingers around two of the most important switches and then moved around to the opposite side of the control console, because of course the controls he needed to operate were on opposite sides. It was going to work this time, he told himself, gripping the lever. It had to work. He began to count down. 5. On the other side of the console, resplendent in a wide-skirted yellow swing dress, Belinda bit her lower lip in concentration. 4. He saw the muscles in her forearms tense, ready to pull her switches. 3. Distracted for a millisecond or two, the Doctor tried to recall if he'd ever met any Time Lords who had grown an extra pair of arms. Maybe a few extra pairs. He was sure at least one of them must have tried it. These old Type 40 models had originally been designed to be flown by 6 Time Lords, all working together. Surely the Time Lords could have found a way to replace the entire console with a glass touchscreen that one person could operate without having to stretch themselves around like they were playing Twister. In fact, they could have probably just made the whole TARDIS entirely automatic if they'd wanted to. But where would be the fun in that? Time travel, at least the way the Doctor did it, was more an art than a science, more intuition than skill, more luck than judgment. 2. Here we go. 1. As instructed, Belinda threw her switches. At the same exact instant, the Doctor yanked down the thick silver handle that initiated the landing sequence. Please work, he pleaded silently. Please work.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?